Hey guys, how you doing? Sorry, I'm not actually home. I'm not in the office. I'm not where I can film this on the computer and use any fancy backgrounds or even the background in my office, but I wanted to give you guys an update. So today is Friday the 24th. I had my heart cath on Wednesday the 22nd. They went in and they did discover that my right coronary artery had a slight, not blockage, but it was more like a collapse or scar tissue where the artery that they put in there for the bypass last year kind of cinched down. And if you can envision what a dumbbell looks like, it's got the two big ends and then you got the bar that you grasp in between. And that narrowing section was actually what they considered an 80% blockage on there. So they went through the groin, which I guess is a common thing that they do after a bypass surgery. They say it's easier to get the cath into all of the grafts that have been done in the past. And so they went in through the groin, which I was not happy about. To make matters worse, they couldn't get through this blockage when they got to it. And so they ended up going through the wrist as well. So I have two puncture or entry sites, one in the right groin, one in the right wrist, and they're healing up okay. No major complications with that thus far. But they went in through the wrist. They were able to get to the same artery, push through from the wrist side, and then basically get the cath pushed back through, like let it through from the groin side. And they made the decision to go ahead and stent it. So they stented it, and when they were putting the stent in, that artery was just clamping down on the catheter. And when they put the stent in, it started clamping down on the catheter, and then it kind of moved. The stent didn't move, but where it was clamping, it moved to the end of the stent and started clamping down at the end of that too. And the cardiologist, which is my cardiologist, is who did the cath. So, I'm familiar with him. I like him. And he was going to do a second cath or a second stent, a second stent to elongate that opening to connect the two, as he called it, larger chambers in the artery. He was going to put a second one in there. And then he said, I think it's just having a spasm. And I was pretty coherent, so I was watching everything on the screen, and it kind of looked like the artery was like a dying worm, kind of wiggling around and spasming, and it looked like it was having a seizure. So they injected nitroglycerin, nitroglycerin into the cath, into the artery right at the point to open everything up and see if the spasm would go away, which it did. So he decided not to put the second stent in place. And so from a health perspective, I feel 85% better. They said I would feel good after a year. I'd feel normal after a year after my bypass. My bypass was exactly a year ago, March 9th, my mom's birthday. That was March 9th of last year. Dogs are going to go nuts. So March 9th of last year was the bypass. They told me I would feel normal in a year. I have not felt normal. I've actually felt worse than what I felt before the bypass. And that's why they decided to go in and do the cath. And my suspicions were correct. Something was wrong. 80% blockage in my right coronary artery. That is the artery that I had my heart attack in when I was 42. That is an artery that was 95% blocked last year that they bypassed. So I had stents in it from 42. So was that 11 years ago? Almost 12. And then they bypassed it last year, and the bypassed artery had squeezed down and created an 80% block. So needless to say, I feel good. Now I feel like I probably should have felt after the bypass. After that 1 year mark, it was almost instantaneous. In the chest, I feel good. I feel like everything's working, but it created some abnormally high blood pressures. And when I say abnormally high, I mean that when I was in the hospital, I was rolling 195 over 113. I'm usually a 120, 126 over 80 to 84 kind of guy, so I don't have high blood pressure. This morning I was 135 over 91, I think it was. So it's coming down. It's like my body's getting used to things working right. I don't know. The doctor didn't seem to be concerned about it. Just said monitor my numbers over the weekend and call the office on Monday if it was still exceptionally high. The nurse didn't seem to care about it. It made me floaty in the head. My vision was a little bit messed up. I couldn't focus on things. I would try to stare at words on a computer and my eyes would go wonky. So I've gotten past that. I can focus now. The blood pressure's down, although it's not great. But it's getting better. Health-wise, I feel better. I'm sorry that this is kind of a unprofessional, unmade-up video, but I just wanted to put something out there for those of you that were wondering how things went. I'm doing good. I'm not a hypochondriac. It was the equivalent of a graft collapsing, would be about the equivalent of what happened. I knew in my body something was wrong. Doctor even told me on the table, well, you got a threefer, because 3 years ago I said something wasn't wrong and my LED was 99% blocked. That's the Widowmaker. Last year I said something's wrong, even though all the tests were negative, and I had a quadruple bypass, 6 arteries blocked, they only fixed 4. And then this year I said something's wrong, and it was an 80% blockage in my right coronary. So I feel better health-wise. I'm able to do, even though I shouldn't be doing a lot of them because I do have the puncture site in the groin, I'm able to do stairs relatively decent, not getting all huffy and puffy when I get to the top. So that's a step in the right direction. I have some lifting restrictions. I can't lift any more than 5 pounds with my right arm. I can't lift any more than 10 pounds total for a week. And then I should be able to resume normal activity. And I'm going to cut you loose because the dogs are going nuts.